Forbes says she unequivocally supports the single-sex spaces for women. You don't unequivocally support that.
Well, I support the law which provides for that, John, the Equality Act 2010.
Isn't it the case that actually the 1992 regulations, which are also quoted, the workplace regulations in your document, support what I'm talking about?
Well, if you go and, I read out to Parliament on at least 2 occasions, maybe even 3, the extract which addresses exactly the point that you're making, and I think the point I've put on the record today expresses fully and comprehensively the import of those regulations and what is the duty of employers to consider when they're acting to operate within the law.
But you don't agree with Kate Forbes, though?
I have set out my position. I agree with my deputy. Of course I do, because we're saying the same thing.
Are there any circumstances, First Minister, where women should share changing rooms with biological males?
Well, the guidance makes all of that clear as to what is the considerations that have got to be taken into account by any employer. Well, as I've set out to Parliament, I'm a believer in the rule of law, and the rule of law makes this crystal clear of the obligations that are on employers and public sector bodies, and they're all there for people to read, and I've just put them on the record in Parliament.
Do you stand by the arguments your government is making at the Supreme Court, has made at the Supreme Court, that a woman in the Equality Act is defined as a biological woman and a person with a gender recognition certificate saying that they're a woman?
I am not going to comment on live.
That's what your government is arguing in court.
I would respectfully refer you to Section 1 of the Judiciary and Courts Act Scotland 2008, because I'm not going to comment on live proceedings.
That is the argument your government is making. Do you stand by that argument?
I'm sorry, but I am not going to comment on
You've
live
proceedings. You've gone to court. You've gone all the way to the Supreme Court making that argument.
Well, it doesn't matter how many times, Lindsay, you ask me that question. I am not going to comment on live legal proceedings. I would be breaking the law if I did so, and I will not do it.
Can you see now that the GRR bill that you tried to put through here was in conflict with the Equality Act, something you denied all the time, your government denied, but clearly, as the Sandy Peggy case and who knows how many others are showing, is that there is a conflict there, and the UK government was right to stop that?
I don't think so at all. I think the law was configured within the context of the Equality Act 2010.
If this is crystal clear, what should a Scottish public body be doing if a female employee comes to them and says that they don't want to share a changing room with a trans colleague?
They should address those concerns and those circumstances based on the detail that I put on the parliamentary record.